Welcome back to AsArt. My name is Nick and I have Taylor here with me, and today we're talking about the new holiday movie Spirited.
Spirited. I'm gonna break out in song.
Yeah, a musical. I mean, a song every 5 minutes. It's a true musical. 2 hours long. I mean, it's a good length. It's definitely fun at times, and it's fun to see a classic Christmas character, Will Ferrell, back. By the way, did you see the elf costume in the party? Okay, yeah. I just want to drop that down. Okay, now we're gonna jump into Spirited. Woo! One thing I want to say, the transitions in this are incredible. The way they would transition. Okay, so if you don't know, if you haven't watched it, spoilers. We're probably gonna be spoiling the ending.
Yeah, we're gonna do spoilers. Yeah.
It's a Christmas Carol, right? Yeah, a Christmas Carol, like from the perspective of the haunts, or the past, present, and future ghosts that visit Scrooge. It's the whole backstory on Scrooge, and Ryan Reynolds is in it, and everyone's tap dancing.
It's not the backstory on Scrooge. It's like the backstory on how why they went to Scrooge. So like once a year they go to they decide on a person who they're going to like haunt. Is that the word? I don't know what the word is. Like,
I guess haunt, to convert them to be a good person.
Yeah.
They want to scare them from being bad.
It was funny because it's kind of like a corporate type of thing where they're like researching all year, and they're like, who's going to have the most impact on the world if they are like turned good, So I guess that was kind of creative.
Except for they only do it one day a year, Christmas.
I know. I was like, why? But I guess, yeah, maybe one day a year.
The resources you have, which we see at the end, you got to mass produce all this stuff. You got to do it on a bigger scale, not one person a year.
Yeah, come on. How much money are they putting into this like wing of the North Pole? They could really. It's like connected to the North Pole, right? Or is
it's
it
magical,
like heaven?
For sure. It's definitely connected to heaven and magic. I don't know how that works in this world, but definitely connected to heaven and magic. But I was very impressed with the editing. Yeah. I was very impressed with the editing and with the transitions and the VFX when it came to the transitions, like the doors closing. A lot of it was done with editing. It wasn't too heavy with the VFX, but there's like that one cool shot in the mall where you see like the doors come behind them and they close, and then he walks through. You know what I mean? Then his other past self walks through and all that stuff. I really enjoyed the editing and the cuts and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's really good. You can tell the production quality was up there too when it comes to camera work.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all the lighting was really beautiful. Like visually it looked good.
Like the choreography and the amount of people in it. Like you know that there was money behind it. So I guess you can appreciate that. Apple money. They got a lot of money.
30% from your apps. I'm just kidding. But
I just look around. It's like my headphones, my laptop, my phone. I funded this movie.
And you know what's so funny? Like the idea and the concept of this movie is good. I like the idea, like going with it. Should have been a musical. That's really tough. Like, I feel like this could have maybe been stronger if it wasn't a musical. Like, it's like if you go back, I don't want to compare it to Elf. I just, it's just the only other Will Ferrell movie I connect with when it comes to Christmas movies. But that's not a musical. And if you think of that as a musical, like I'm going to New York and I'm going to cross the bridge. Like, if they would have did a musical about that, I don't know if it would have been as strong as an impact that it had.
Well, the thing is that I feel like they had to make this a musical, because how else are you going to get, I mean, everything with the streaming services is all about converting people to join the streaming service. So if it's just like a normal Christmas movie, I feel like you're not going to get that conversion. Whereas like with Elf, it was just like the movie of Christmas time. And I think back then it was really more popular to go to the movies around Christmas. I don't know, like at least just like in my experience. So I think that you didn't really have to convince people that much to go see like a Will Ferrell, especially that time, because he was like hot off of like SNL and stuff.
I don't think he was no one yet at that time. Like it was like that weird transition.
No, he was, Nick. He was
Okay.
He was SNL. He was like George Bush on SNL and stuff. But
okay. He was still making his rise to his popularity.
To like his height, for sure. But you know what I'm saying? Like they needed kind of like a hook where you're like, oh, Ryan Reynolds sings, which he had a he had a decent voice. Yeah. So
and it was his first time singing and dancing. I guess they took lessons for months before, and they, I mean, a lot of dancing went into this movie, and it looks great. And the dancing's fantastic. The story is what's rough. I'm having a hard time with the story.
Yes, very rough.
The beginning is the worst part for me. I think
the first hour, it's like, what?
It's rough.
It feels as if a group of like 12 people wrote the movie. Do you know what I mean? Like they had like a team for the music. They had a team for like, how are we going to make this into a story? You know what it just had that vibe. And then you had
like all the comedy writers too, right? Because it's also a comedy. So they're like doing the comedy, the dancing, and then the heart of the story, like the meaning of the story and all that stuff. So there was a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces, and I just didn't care about anyone. I don't care about people until we find out he's Scrooge. And once we find out he's Scrooge and he was unredeemable.
Even then, I'm just like, what? Okay.
But that's when the story kind of like starts getting interesting. Like that whole hour we're waiting until like they're failing, the girls, hooks up with him, and everyone's like not doing their part kind of thing. Like it's like really falling apart the seams, and then Will Ferrell has to jump in, and it all starts to collapse and all that stuff. I mean, and even right away, like Ryan Reynolds just not falling for the thing, like with the guy singing and like the bricks and the things are floating. He's like interrupting them. He's like,
who are you to judge me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have Will Ferrell's character, which I don't know, like I guess they're trying to put him into a love story. It was just, I don't know. I get where they were going with it. I don't know if I'm 100% behind the idea of it, but the one thing I liked was at the beginning of the movie when they're explaining what they're doing, right? And the Karen, her name's Karen, I think, right? Karen,
yeah, that was funny.
She like says, "Oh, I want to do this thing," and everything freezes around her, like when the ball's about to come. But then she still gets hit by the ball, and I'm like, "Oh no!" When he froze in front of the bus, and they're like, "You did it!" I remember like looking at Allie, my wife, and I was like, "The bus is gonna hit him." I'm like, because the ball, everything, even though they're talking and moving, they're cheering, it goes right back to where they left off. I was like, "Oh no, he's gonna die." I just knew he was going to die. And I was like, oh my gosh. But I just love how they did the foreshadowing with the ball at the beginning. Like they told us the way how physics, or not physics, but the way this world works. You know what I mean? Like even though they have the power to bring people back to life practically.
Yeah. What theology is this?
That's so funny too. Like Will Ferrell's allowed to come back to life. So like, and then now Ryan Reynolds can visit him whenever. I don't know what was going on with the magic at the end, but
something Steven said I should add, my husband, is that there's a lot more like unaliving than I would have thought there would be. It's like, geez, this got dark.
It did, but it definitely did. And Tracy Morgan was there to lead us, right?
Yeah. I just want to add that Nick was like, do you want to review Spirited? I'm like, sure. I didn't know anything about this. And then we started like singing. I'm like, what the F is going on?
Wait, hold on. You didn't even know it was a musical?
No, I don't keep track of Apple TV, Apple Plus. I don't know what's going on over there.
Hold on. So okay, I now I have to tell you. When we were on vacation, Allie saw the commercial for this movie. I was like, I want to see it because Allie was in dance and stuff, so she's into the musical stuff. I am too. I'm into older musical stuff. I'm not against musicals. I do enjoy a musical now and then, but I didn't realize how many songs are gonna be in this thing. I thought there was gonna be like four songs. You know what I mean? Like that seems fair, right? There's at the end of the movie when they're listing all the songs, and then even at the very end, they show the song which he gets interrupted with. So you remember he's like starts to sing. He's like, no, how about this? You can have Ryan Reynolds if you stop singing. At the end of the movie, they're like, oh, here's this song that they interrupted. So they like play it at the end of the credits. It's just like, dude, just stop with the music. But
I feel like they were trying to make it into like, oh, you're gonna find this soundtrack on Spotify and listen to it all the time. They were like trying to make it like that, but it's like I cannot imagine listening to that just like for fun, like what the heck, like Hamilton or something.
Well, I think it was very similar to the Greatest Showman, right?
It was the same people.
Okay, I was about to say, because you definitely had that vibes. It had the vibes from the music from that. It was not the Hamilton guy. What's his name?
Lin-Manuel. Yeah, it wasn't him. He's a Disney guy. He's a contract.
He is a Disney guy. But I mean, Apple's pretty connected to Disney. Let's just be honest there. But what was the other thing? Okay, so one thing I thought was funny, Will Ferrell. Why is it, I know there's only been 2 Christmas movies, but why are showers such a part of Christmas movies? In Elf, you have the scene where they're like singing in the shower, and then you have this scene, like, does Will Ferrell just always has to take off his clothes in one part of the movie?
Yeah,
or something
he always
like
has to show his like curly, he has to show his like curly chest hair.
Hey, I love Will Ferrell's voice. Like, whenever I hear a voiceover, like at the beginning of the movie, there's like a voiceover going on by Will Ferrell. He's like describing stuff, and I'm like, man, it just reminds me of Megamind with like the voiceovers at the beginning. It's just, he has such a good iconic voice. I mean, so does Ryan Reynolds too. The pacing in his voice too it hits for good comedy beats pretty well.
Yeah. Too. I have unpopular opinions about Ryan Reynolds. I feel like maybe it's just Deadpool. I just feel like he thinks, or that character thinks, that he's way more funny than he is. I don't know. Just like,
maybe that's part of his stick.
Yeah.
Like that's his sense of humor. You know what
his
I mean?
voice goes with it for sure. So
that's good. And then you had his brother. That was and then like the whole story with the kid, the homeless shelter, and they like researched the kid to like this one.
That was kind of funny. Because that's like so relatable now. It's like he deleted this 2 years ago. We found it.
6 years old. He was 6 years old.
I know. That's why it was so funny. But then it wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't funny. It got really serious really fast. If that really happens, though, I mean, are they just making up a future at this point? Because I mean, do they have the ability to really see the future? I guess they do, because they have the ability to bring people back to life.
Yeah. And Octavia, she saved the day.
Which one's Octavia?
Oh, so that's her real name, the secretary.
Oh, yes, the secretary. I'm like, I was trying to think of
You're like, wait,
name.
hold on.
Oh, yes. No, she was great. I kind of started to enjoy her chemistry she had with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, that worked for sure.
At first, I'm like, where are they going with this? Like when she sees him, I'm like, okay, where are they going with it? I'm like, oh, they're going that route with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of happy. It's I'm fine with it. Like, it's fun. It's cute. I'm happy. Everyone's ice skating.
Yeah.
But I mean, so if you had to rank this movie, what would you rank it?
I have the same feeling of like the Hocus Pocus 2. It's like, yeah, it was entertaining, but I don't think I'll watch it again. I don't know, like 3 out of 5.
And it's interesting because you went in without knowing anything, which is sometimes the best way to go into a movie. Sometimes. It was like, 'cause there was a couple movies I've seen where I didn't see any trailers and stuff, and I think I enjoy the movie more when I know less going into it. Sometimes, not all the time. A bad movie is a bad movie. You know what I mean? There's no redeeming a bad movie, but yeah, I would have to say it's right there. I don't know if I would watch it again. Maybe next Christmas kind of thing. If I wasn't a super big fan of the music. I don't know if it's my kind of music. I mean, I like Hamilton and other types of styles of music when it comes to my musicals now. I don't know. Maybe it was too. It's funny, but I want to say it was too Disney. Like the music reminded me of like a Disneyland parade almost. Like, it's so like over the top, like welcome to my family time. You know what I mean? Like this like over the top stuff. Where
like
now
when
Disney has more of a style.
I don't know why I'm going into the microphone. Sorry. When in Shrek, when they do they're making fun of Disney, it kind of had that vibe to it. Like, do lapis, do lapis.
The perfect place. Yeah. It did have that kind of vibe with the music and stuff like that. I mean, I think maybe the best number was when they were saying good day or something like that, or something. It was like good day, and like it was like F you back then kind of thing.
Or what was it? It was
good afternoon. Was it good afternoon?
I think it was something like that. But I have a question for you though.
Yes.
So along the lines of like the music style, like who do you think this movie is for? Do you think is it for adults?
It's probably for people into musicals.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
There's a whole. I know people like The Greatest Showman. Then again, it was Hugh Jackman, who is one of the greatest showmen. Like, he's a musical theater guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Will Ferrell's always been known for having a good voice. I don't think he's ever been known for dancing in musicals and stuff like that. But like Hugh Jackman, that's him. Like, that's all him when it comes to musicals.
Where I'm going with that is like we just recorded an episode for How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yes.
And when I look at that movie, I think what makes a Christmas movie a great Christmas movie is that it's just like equal parts fun for kids as it is for adults. I don't know if that's like a sweeping statement, but that's just kind of like my feeling of why I think The Grinch works so well and is classic. But then looking at this, I'm like, I don't really know.
Elf is the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
the adults can enjoy and kids can enjoy it. This is definitely more adult.
Yeah.
Because the
adult, it goes along with like my my opinions about like streaming services. Like, well, the adult is the person who has to type in their credit card for this. And the same could be said for buying movie tickets. But I guess like, for me, I just always see these things through the lens of like they're just trying to get people to sign up for the monthly payment, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
They needed a Christmas movie for that.
Yeah. Even though Mythic Quest is on there, which is not a bad show. If you guys are looking for, I mean, it's written by like Charlie Day and Rob and all those guys from It's Always Sunny. It's about a video game company and their coding stuff. It's hilarious and it's funny. And there's some good like beats and stuff too. That's on Apple Plus right now. And Severance. They also have Severance. Great show.
And then I heard that the morning show was really good too.
Oh, okay. And they have all the Peanuts stuff on there right now.
Yeah.
So watch a Charlie Brown Christmas. I think there's another show. I think there's a sci-fi show, The Foundation, that's on there too, that Kyle really likes. So, yeah, so that comes from our resident Kyle.
Our resident Apple Plus correspondent.
Kyle, he really likes that show. But that's it. That's Spirited. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, comment down below what you did or didn't like about it. Yeah, or other Christmas movies you thought were better. I don't know. Just throw it down in the comments down below. Also go to asart.space for audio, video links, and get our cool shirts and merch there. Kyle designs a lot of them. This is a play on His Dark Materials. Something in the books. We did not see it in the trailer, so this might be very much a book shirt. But we took a chance, and it looks freaking sick. And we'll see you on the next AsArt.
Merry
holidays. Christmas. Oh, yeah. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year's. Merry Xmas. And good day. No, not good day. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.